Hi! Over the next few minutes you're going to learn how you can wrap up your lessons to make them more fun and help students remember what they've learned. I'll show you some clips of me wrapping up my lessons, and finally you can prepare a wrap up for one of your own classes. But first, let's think about why it's important to have a wrap up section in our lessons. Research has shown that we remember the first and last 5 minutes of classes much better than what we do with the middle. That means it's important to do something meaningful at the end and not just let your lesson grind to a halt. Summarizing helps students to remember the main points from the lesson. As a teacher, you want your students to remember the most important points of the lesson in order to be able to apply this language later on. I also think that a good wrap-up to a lesson should be very motivating. If you're able to show your learners how much they've learned during the lesson and make them laugh or smile at the same time, they'll be much more likely to want to come back to your classes in the future. Now, I'd like to share with you some common wrap-ups that I use in my lessons. The first is asking students to come to the front of the class, pick one word or phrase from the board, make a sentence using this, erase the word, and then pass the eraser on to the next student. Students get to choose what they'll say, and it's often funny and also visually shows students how much they've learned in the lesson. I'm going to give one person the eraser, and you just have to say one sentence about your job, and then you give this to another person. So, for example, I'll start. I like my job because it can be very fun. David, do you like your job?
Yeah, I like my job. I think it can be very exciting. Okay,
I don't like my job. It can be boring.
I also don't like my job. It's not very fun.
Another activity I like to use is called Back to the Board. I'll write an important word or phrase from the lesson, for example some target language, on the board and ask the class to help two students at the front guess the word or phrase without saying the word or phrase itself.
So, you at the back, you can help them guess the word, but you can't say the word. Okay? And you here, you can't see the word.
Very
Do something without thinking. Just happen very quickly. Just learn. Fast.
Two words or one? Four.
The first words include everything.
Now it's your turn to try. Take a lesson plan from next week, plan a wrap-up activity like one of the ones that you've seen here, and bring this along to the try section of this training where you can practice these by micro-teaching with your peers and getting feedback.